All right, so now we're going to start discussing boss battles. And I have an example sheet laid out here in front of you of the Elder Leviathan. And you can see that they're similar to a map sheet in that they're the way that they're laid out. They have their own special rules, their range table, and different nodes that your units can travel to. Now, something to pay attention to when it comes to boss battles is while you don't necessarily have to use the individual unit counters when you're playing on the regular map, when it comes to a boss battle, you absolutely do have to use the individual counters because they will be placed in separate places as you attack the boss. So when you're looking at the boss sheet, there's multiple different nodes, and you can tell the difference by the background color that is on them. We can see here, these are outer zones. You can tell because they're translucent white, and this is a inner zone because it's a translucent red. You can't place units onto this inner node. You can't attack this inner node until you've gotten through the outer nodes. You also can only kill the boss by killing all vital sections, which have the nodes marked by this little target symbol located here. So when you start the combat itself, this is when the individual counters are going to come into play, because you have to choose which members of your squad will go into which outer nodes, but there is a limit on how many units you can place in each node. We can see here that this mouth area can only hold 2, so you can only place 2 of your squad members here to conduct an attack, and you can only place 1 here at the tail. Now, once a unit is placed onto the boss sheet itself, it can't come off. They can move around in between combat rounds, but they can't be removed. So once they're there until they either win or die. So for our example, we'll say that we put our fire team A and our shotgunner here at the mouth, and that we put our CC team here at the tail conducting the attack. Now, you don't have to place all your units, obviously. And when it comes to like specialized units like demolitionists, they can't be placed until you don't have any other regular units to place. So once you do have your units placed, you're going to conduct combat kind of like each one of these nodes was an individual enemy. So these guys here would conduct an individual combat against the mouth, and this guy here would conduct an individual combat against the tail. So the damage the shotgun and the fire team A guy generate will go against this health bar, and the CC team against this health bar. And vice versa, the damage that these zones create going out, as you see it does have a fire and melee stats in each one of these areas, will hit these units first. So once a node is destroyed though, so let's say our team here destroyed this mouth zone, you see there's a connecting line, kind of like a travel path to the internal node. Any excess damage is going to be transferred over to the internal zone, and any other damage they do while they're located there will continue to be transferred here. Same for this location with the tail. It'll keep going in, but remember, your units not involved in the combat can't attack any of these areas. When it comes to the boss activating to conduct its attack, all of the non-destroyed outer zones will conduct their attacks, but its attacks can bleed over into your units that are not directly involved with the combat, unlike these units being able to attack here. So the boss can attack here while your units here can't attack into the boss. An internal zone like this one will only activate in combat if one or more of these zones, one of the outer zones, are destroyed. Then this one will activate and start conducting its attack. But as long as both of these were up as an example, it won't activate for attacks yet. And when it comes to the internal zone conducting its attacks, they can be freely distributed between outer zones that are connected to it, or if there are no units left, obviously it will go to the outside. Easy way to think of that is to work your way inside out when it comes to conducting the damage.